Hey, my friends, I want to start the video by saying a huge thank you to everyone who went on Paul Barron's Twitter page and commented and asked him to get me on his show. I really appreciate you guys. The Paul Barron Network reached out to me yesterday. They said that Paul Barron wanted me on the show. My goodness, guys, this is crazy. Paul Barron is pretty much the top crypto technology finance podcast in the world. Among the top three, a lot of people would argue that he's number one. Comes to reputation and the subjects he covers. And guys, so thank you so much for everyone that has taken the time, and thank you for the ones that wanted to go and comment but didn't have the time. So this was last week. He asked who the community recommends to have on his XRP podcast, and I asked you for your help, and you guys came in and you commented very strong comments that got him to look into my content. And yeah, after watching a few of my videos and listening to the community, I guess he was convinced. And just a very humbling moment for me, because it's just a brand new channel that I have, and Paul Barron has over 1.6 million subscribers. Like I said, it's pretty much the who's who of the crypto news podcasts and fintech information in the world. Like I said, one of the top three, but would be considered by many as the top one. So thank you so much. I can't thank you enough. And I want to thank the Paul Barron Network for reaching out to me. Very humbled and very honored that they would have me. And definitely want to thank my God for this one. Without him, without my Lord Jesus Christ Savior, I wouldn't even be here. I'm definitely not going to leave him out. So praise the Lord for this one. And again, thank you so much for all your support, guys. So this is really cool. The recording will be next week sometime, and then they'll air it, maybe shortly after. So I just wanted to say a big thank you to the community. If you're not following Paul Barron, definitely follow him. You might be one of the only people in crypto that is not following him if you're not following him. But definitely, this is amongst the best of the best. Unbelievable, the Paul Barron Network. And so again, thank you so much for your support, for taking the time. I really appreciate it. This is a really big deal. It's not anybody that gets invited on the Paul Barron Network. I'm so honored. So guys, now let's get into the XDC. I'm going to talk to you about XDC Network and why it's a very big deal. It's going to be part 2 of my series, XRP versus XDC, in regards to the R3 Corda confusion. But in this video, I'm mainly just going to focus on XDC and really show you how massive this project is. And so I hope you like it. So in my previous video, I talked about the R3 Corda connection to Ripple, XRP, and to XDC. So I tried to clear the confusion there, and I showed that XRP Ledger, the R3 Corda, uses the Corda settler, which technically uses XRP for settlement for cross-border instant liquidity. That's the main focus there. And XDC can do technically cross-border, but it's really not its focus. It's definitely not its strength. It's not made for technically cross-border. And I did, if you think I'm crazy, just go watch my previous video, please, where I explain that. So XDC's focus is really on tokenizing every document that is involved in global trade. So letters of credit, contracts, purchase orders, everything that has to do with global trade, even the insurance on the product, the insurance on the shipment, everything, every single document involved in global trade is literally being tokenized on the XDC network. And that's what the XDC network, XDC Zenfin, its focus is on. It's not made for cross-border. That's not where its strength lies. And so we're going to continue on here. I'm going to read a small paragraph here that I forgot to read in the previous part 1. And then from here, I'm going to show you, really just focus on XDC, show you what it does, show you how massive it is. It's literally the foundation for global trade. It's that infrastructure where all the documents for global trade is being tokenized. Like I said, it's being put on the blockchain so that every process can be streamlined, confirmed, instant verification. So just to streamline the whole process involved in global trade. Because what's happening is that these major shipments, these big boats that carry all of you have billions and billions of dollars worth of goods on these shipping containers. What's happening is that they're stuck in port for a month waiting for the documentation to clear, waiting for the finance, for the letters of credit, for the insurance, for everything to clear, because the paperwork involved is so cumbersome. So this is why many years ago, I think we'd say maybe 6 to 8 years ago, roughly, they started working on the XINFIN network, XDC, to literally tokenize everything, to streamline and move the process. Because if that cargo ship is parked, not being able to move simply because the paperwork is not processed, this is absolutely ridiculous. And it's costing millions and millions of dollars for that cargo ships to just be parked, all of them globally, literally just parked for days, weeks, sometimes a month, just waiting for the paperwork to clear, right? And again, it's just a big mess. And that's why they're tokenizing everything on the XINFIN network when it comes to global trade. Now, right here, this is a short answer I want to read to you. Again, the chapters that I forgot to read on part 1. So it says, XRP is needed for R3 Corda and XINFIN for fast, low-cost cross-border payments and high liquidity. This is crucial. XDC doesn't have high liquidity. It's, again, you'd have to watch my previous video, but it's not meant for cross-border, cross-currency, instant liquidity. It doesn't have that network that RippleNet has. So XRP is complementing XDC's trade finance focus. XDC alone may lack the global liquidity, global adoption, global liquidity, and payment efficiency of XRP, limiting its ability to fully meet Corda's or XINFIN's, which is XDC. So XDC has a limited ability to fully meet Corda's or XINFIN's needs for international settlements. Again, it's going cross-currency. It's about that cross-currency. Medium answer. So I asked it for a short answer and I asked for a medium answer. So here's the medium answer. XRP is used in R3 Corda and XINFIN network for its strength in cross-border payments. For Corda, XRP enables instant settlements via the Corda settler, leveraging RippleNet's global reach and high liquidity. So XINFIN uses XDC for trade finance and smart contracts, but can integrate XRP for faster, cheaper global payments, connecting to Ripple's ecosystem. So XDC alone isn't enough due to its smaller market presence, lower liquidity, and focus on trade finance rather than broad payment network. So XDC's network is focused on trade finance rather than broad payment network. XRP's wider adoption and regulatory clarity making it a valuable bridge for both platforms, enhancing interoperability and meeting diverse financial needs. And then I'll read this above here. So why XDC network may not be enough for XINFIN or Corda. While XDC is primarily token for the XINFIN network and a key settlement asset on Corda, it may not fully meet all needs due to the following reasons. Limited liquidity and adoption. XDC's lower market cap and smaller adoption compared to XRP means it may not provide the same level of liquidity for high volume cross-border payments. Financial institutions on Corda or XINFIN may prefer XRP for its established liquidity pools and global acceptance. Specialized use cases. XDC is optimized for trade, finance, and smart contracts. So it's optimized for trade, finance, and smart contracts. However, it's less focused on pure cross-border payment efficiency, where XRP's design, escrow, trust lines, etc., excels. For Corda or XINFIN applications requiring rapid global settlements, XRP may be preferred. Not maybe, it is preferred. It doesn't even compete. Because again, you need the network, you need the liquidity, you need the XRP ledger, you need the decentralized exchange on the XRP ledger, and the liquidity pools and everything. So here I'm going to give you a list of all the documents and instruments, different documents and instruments that are being tokenized on the XDC network in regards to global trade. So you have invoices, bill of lading, purchase orders, trade receivables, warehouse receipts, letters of credit, export-import documents, trade contracts, trade insurance policies. Additional notes, tokenization mechanism. Each document or instrument is converted into a digital token on the XDC network using smart contracts. These tokens represent the asset's value or rights, not only the value, but its rights, and are secured by the blockchain's immutability. So benefits of tokenization: liquidity. Tokenized assets, invoices, receivables, letters of credit, contracts can be traded or financed instantly. Transparency. Immutable records reduce fraud and efficiency. Automation via smart contracts speeds up process, 2 to 4 seconds for settlement, and cuts costs, 0.0001 fee versus $20 to $50. But the fact that it's automated via smart contract, it's eliminating the need for people to verify the contracts and everything. Like, pretty much the amount of people that are going to lose their job because of blockchain is absolutely crazy. And combine that with AI, it's not good, guys. Seriously. Interoperability. XDC's ISO 20022 compliance ensures compatibility with traditional financial systems. XDC's network's role. The hybrid blockchain, public and private, and XinFin delegated proof of stake enable high throughput, 2,000 transactions per second, and low-cost transactions, making it ideal for tokenizing trade-related documents and instruments. So here we're going to look quickly at every individual document once they're tokenized, what it allows you to do with that document. So for example, right here, the automating letters of credit. So the letters of credit. So again, what is it? It's a letter of credit is a bank-issued guarantee ensuring payment from a buyer to a seller upon meeting specific conditions. So for example, in global trade, it would be the delivery of goods. So the bank is saying to the seller, hey, to the buyer, there's your letter of credit. He can present that to the seller, to the shipper, saying, hey, I've got a bank, I'm backed up by the banks here. Here's my letter of credit. Once the goods are delivered, you will get your money. You don't have to worry. So that's a letter of credit. And once you tokenize that, look just here. So smart contracts on XDC encode letters of credit terms, automatically triggering payments when conditions are met. So for example, the shipment, delivery verified via IoT, Internet of Things, or oracles are met automatically because the letter of credit is literally in a smart contract or tokenized on the blockchain, tokenized on XDC. A smart contract will automatically execute it, automatically triggering the payment when the conditions are met. So when the delivery arrives at the buyer, for example. Benefits. Reduce costs by up to 50% by eliminating manual paperwork and intermediaries. Speeds up processing from days to hours. I would say from weeks, actually, probably. When you look at a whole shipment, the whole boat, the whole shipment, like the whole cargo boat, you're not talking days here. You're talking like weeks, because the amount of paperwork is ridiculous. There's 10,000 forests that needs to be cut down. You need to cut almost 10 million or 10 billion trees just to process the amount of paperwork that goes into global trade. The amount of paperwork. So again, it speeds up the process from days to hours, I would say weeks to hours, with automated verification, enhances trust with transparent and immutable records. Just going to show you a few more examples, and then I'm going to move on to some bit crazier stuff here. Digitization of bills of lading. So a bill of lading is a legal document serving as a contract, a receipt, and a title for shipped goods. So how it would work if you convert this onto as a digital token on XDC. So a bill of lading is tokenized on XDC, enabling secure instant transfer of ownership. Smart contracts release the token upon payment or delivery confirmations. Benefits. Eliminates delays from physical document handling. Prevents fraud like duplicate BOLs, so bill of ladings, with immutable records. Streamlines customs clearance with verifiable digital tokens. It's unbelievable. It's sky's the limit of what you can do with blockchain. And when you combine that with AI, it gets really crazy, guys. It's unbelievable. So when you tokenize purchase orders here, so purchase order again is tokenized on the XDC network, allowing suppliers to secure financing by proving buyer commitment. Smart contracts track order fulfillment. So the benefits here, for example, by tokenizing the purchase orders, is the benefits are it enables early financing, improving supplier cash flow, increases transparency for buyers, suppliers, and financiers, and it reduces disputes with immutable purchase order records. So I could go on and on about all different documents that can be tokenized. Now I want to show you a document that was produced in 2019, just to give you an idea how far back this goes. The XDC Network was produced 2019. It's called Blockchain and DLT in Trade, a reality check. And this document was basically created by the International Chambers of Commerce, Trade Finance Global, and the World Trade Organization. So the International Chambers of Commerce, there's thousands and thousands of chambers of commerce in every city, literally in North America. I think in total, there's 30,000 chambers of commerce in the world. I'm not sure about all the other countries, but literally it's absolutely massive. And then you've got the World Trade Organization. Don't even get me started on that. It's not all good. So the World Trade Organization, the World Economic Forum, and the World Health Organizations, I am not a very big fan of them at all. They only have the corporatocracy's interests. They only care about their big corporations, and it is what it is. There is no maybes about it. They're not working for the people. They're working for the biggest corporations in the world. So some of their policies, anyways, so it doesn't get bigger than that. And so you've got the International Chambers of Commerce and the World Trade Organization that are behind the XDC network. So in this document, it's not the best because I couldn't download it on the website. It's not allowing me to download it, but it's showing you the different industries. So it's trade finance initiatives, supply chain DLT initiatives, shipping and freight. You have different colors here, right? So you have the orange, shipping and freight. This is your orange here. Different major networks, consortiums, or companies that are basically digitizing everything. So for example, TradeLens, Global Shipping Business Network, and Deliver, and Open Trade Blockchain. So for example, these are massive consortiums all working on digitizing all the documents for supply chain digital. So that's for the supply chain, right? But if you look here, so you have the trade finance and supply chain finance. So you're talking about trade finance and supply chain finance. These were all, and this is 2019. So you cannot even imagine where they're at right now. I'm going to try to find another more recent document. But you see how all of the different consortiums, so Marco Polo, for example, that used to be a very big one, GTCN, Fast Track Trade. So you see how the insurance here, if you look, blue insurance, this is technically right here, the blue one. So all of the different, right here, insurance in blue, right? And then you had, for example, here, trade finance initiatives. So these are all different trade finance initiatives working on digitizing literally all the documents for global trade. So you see, like you have Comgo, Finacle Trade Connect, WeTrade, Letter of Credit Network, Marco Polo, People's Bank of China, E-Trade Connect, GTN, and so on. And so then you have in the yellow here, for example, in the yellow here, you would have other initiatives in trade and supply chain, and then you would have your non-DLT networks in trade. So it's just showing you all different consortiums or groups or associations or companies that are literally working on digitizing all of the different documents. But at the core here, your network of network, if you look right here, network of networks, you have the International Chambers of Commerce and the DSI, so that's the ICC, and then underneath that, you have Trade Finex, and Trade Finex is powered by the XDC protocol. So as you can see, this is your network of networks. So XDC protocol is your network of networks for the global trade. And I'll show you something else here. I'm not sure if you can see that, but if you look at the little circle here, if you look right here, this is right here, the legend, the stage legend. So it was just an empty circle if it's conceptual, if there's a little line, if it was a proof of concept phase, if there was a pilot phase, then it was like a quarter of a pie. Then if it was entering into production, early stages of production, you had half a pie, half of the pie was filled. And if it was live and running, built, rolling out, if it was being rolled out, then it was 3/4 of the pie. And if it was live and running, established, then it was a full pie. So this again was 2019. This is a document that came out in 2019. So I just want to show you at the time, imagine this is over 6 years ago. Look at where they were at what stage. Most of them here were in the pilot phase, or they were entering into production or early stages of production. So look, there's half a pie here, half a pie, 3/4 of a pie, 3/4 of a pie. TradeLens in 2019 was already live and running, but they were rolling out complementary products. So just gives you an idea here. And all of these here were all in the beginning stages. And this one was Comgo was almost 3/4 of the pie, half the pie, and the other ones were just starting out. So imagine this is 6 years ago. So imagine where they're at now. Okay, and this is all happening around the XDC network. And again, I'm not even scraping the surface here. Because this is 6 years ago. This is a document I had surfaced 6 years ago. So you can just imagine where they're at now. And like I said, the XDC network is the network of networks for global trade. Now, don't get me wrong, Quant Overledger is the network of networks, you could say. So Quant Overledger is still going to be needed. It's an overlay, and it's going to overlay the XDC network, the XRP ledger, and all the other blockchains. And it's going to allow the whole world, it's already doing it, allows the whole world to build what are called multi-chain applications. And that is, with Quant Overledger, the whole world can literally pick the best features of each blockchain or each network or each DLT and build what are called multi-chain applications. So if you want your app to do something on the XDC network, and then from there you want to use Ripple for settlement, and then from there, or XRP for settlement, then from there you want to send your app, you want your app to use Hyperledger for something, and then maybe Ethereum for something else, and maybe VeChain for something else, and so on and so forth. You're building a multi-chain application, so your application is picking the best features of each blockchain, and you're doing what's called a NemDApp, right? Like I said, a multi-chain application. So I'm saying that because I don't want you guys to think, what does he mean, network of networks? I thought Quant was the network of networks, and it is. But we could say that Quant is technically the network of networks of networks of networks. So you've got a pretty big network just within the XDC network, and you've got a ridiculous network in the XRP ledger ecosystem, which is your unified ledger. But Quant is, like I said, it's an overledger, it's an overlay, it's an operating system that allows the whole world that exists, so all the legacy systems that exist today, to seamlessly connect into blockchain, because the legacy systems that exist today cannot speak to blockchain. They're not compatible. They cannot connect to blockchain seamlessly. And so this is why Quant Overledger was created. It's like the Microsoft Windows on steroids. It's the Microsoft Windows for the fourth industrial revolution for blockchain and AI. That's your Quant Overledger, the QNT token, literally nothing bigger than the QNT and XRP. The main two internets are being built is the XRP ledger, the internet of value, which is XRP, the internet of trust, which is Quant. And we could almost argue that this is an internet, the XDC network. Not quite, but we could say that's the internet of global trade, but not necessarily. It's not the same. I don't think we could, but anyways. So I just want to clarify that. So what Quant allows, it allows the whole world to build solutions that will go and use the XDC network for when it comes to global trade, tokenization, and then XRP for settlement, for example, and so on. So Quant just allows the whole world that exists today to connect seamlessly to blockchain, because the central banks, commercial bank, fintechs, all the different systems that all the different industries use today, again, they're not compatible with blockchain, and you cannot shut them off. You cannot shut off this world for 10, 15 years in order to integrate to blockchain. These systems need to be able to speak to blockchain, need to be able to connect seamlessly, and so that's where Quant comes into play. It allows the third industrial revolution, the current world that we're in right now, to move into the fourth industrial revolution, which is the tokenization and AI revolution. Quant Overledger is doing for the fourth industrial revolution what Microsoft Windows did for the third industrial revolution. So we would never have had the internet world without the Microsoft Windows operating system. Same for Quant. We're not going to enter this era of blockchain and AI without a proper operating system, and this is what Quant has done. I would really suggest that you watch my QNT playlists. If you go into my playlist and watch my QNT playlists, you'll understand why I'm extremely passionate about Quant. There's nothing bigger. But anyways, I know this is an XDC video, but it's very important to explain to you everything that's going on in general, right? So that you understand why I'm saying network of network here, when in reality, a lot of people would say, oh, Quant is the network of networks. Quant is literally the network of networks of networks. So anyways, I wanted to clarify that for you. Also, guys, before I forget, please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. I appreciate it a lot. And also, I have to give that disclaimer. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. And don't buy or sell anything because anything I said is for educational purposes only. I want to show you something else really important. But like I said, it's not financial advice. I'm a ridiculous fan of XRP, SQNT, XDC, and all that good utility stuff. I'll just give you an example here. XDC is absolutely massive, guys. Again, not financial advice. It's absolutely massive. And XDC's market cap right now, if you're new to crypto, you might be looking at the price, but you should not look at the price. You have to look at the market cap. Let's say you believe in two projects and you're like, I want to buy the cheapest one, or I want to buy more of whichever one is cheaper, right? You should not look at the price. You have to look at the market cap. The price doesn't tell you anything because the price is going to depend on how much supply there is. So for example, a token might be $1,000 each and the other one is $1 each. And in reality, the one that's $1 is actually more expensive than the one that's $1,000 because it depends on how much supply each token has. And so you take the price of the token times the supply, and that tells you your market cap. So the market cap is really what tells you how expensive your token is. So for example here, XDC's network that I just showed you, the market cap is 1.5 billion. And XRP's market cap is 200 billion. So technically right now, XRP is 140 times more expensive. This is a rough guess, 137 to be exact. So approximately 137 times more expensive than XDC, because again, you have to look at the market cap. This is the issue. This is why I get upset a bit with some of the so-called Bitcoin experts. People have been in the industry for years that tell their community that Bitcoin is the best one and Bitcoin is the one that has the most potential. I don't mind if they believe in Bitcoin. They believe in Bitcoin, that's fine. It was the first one, even though it's actually the government that created it. The Nakamoto story is complete BS. Nothing wrong with believing in Bitcoin, and if you believe in Bitcoin, that's great. But the issue I have, the thing that I don't like, is when people who are supposed to be experts are telling their community that Bitcoin is the one that has the absolute most potential, right? You put $5,000 in, you're going to be multimillionaire. They make it sound like that. It's absolutely crazy because if you look at Bitcoin's market cap is 2.34 trillion and it's at all-time high right now. So it's 2.34 trillion market cap. We've got a network like XDC, which is technically 1.5 billion. So XDC right now, to give you an idea, XDC is about 1,500 times cheaper than Bitcoin. 1,500 times cheaper than Bitcoin. So which one do you think would have the most potential for upside long term? And XRP, which has 1,000,000 times more utility than Bitcoin, is currently 6 times cheaper than Bitcoin. Right? So that's a 6x difference right there. So if you look at both projects, let's say you're a big believer in XDC and you're a big believer in XRP, it's very interesting that XDC is actually 140 times cheaper than XRP right now. So the potential is huge, right? It just goes to tell you how cheap it is. And XDC right now is probably, let's say, 300 times cheaper than Ethereum. I'm just going to go look what the market cap of Ethereum is real quick. Yeah, so that's what it is. Market cap of Ethereum right now is 430 billion. And XDC is only 1.5 billion. So Ethereum is almost 300 times more expensive than XDC. So for example, which one you think has the most potential in the next 5 years to do, let's say, multiply 20 times, or let's say multiply 50 times? In the next 5 to 10 years, even just 5 years, which one do you think has the most potential to multiply 50 times? Do you think it's Ethereum, or do you think it's XDC? That, in my opinion, probably has same potential utility. if not more, maybe. Again, not financial advice. I'm just giving you examples here of what you can look for. It's for educational purposes only. But XDC Network, which has potential ridiculous amount of utility, they're tokenizing everything on XDC. It's real world assets as well. It's not only stocks, documents, and instruments, trade documents. There's a lot of other stuff being tokenized on XDC, which I forgot to mention in the video. And so a lot of potential utility, and it's 300 times cheaper than Ethereum and 1,500 times cheaper than Bitcoin. Because again, you got to look at the market cap. So I just wanted to point that out, guys. That's why people are kicking and screaming about XDC. Not only does it have an insane amount of utility, and the whole global trade is being tokenized on XDC, all the trade documents, like I said, but it's also 300 times cheaper than Ethereum, right? If somebody has $20 million and they don't know anything about crypto, and Ethereum seems to be at the bottom on the charts and everything, it's nothing for them to put 2 or 3 million. Yes, you'll probably multiply your money 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times, right? But what's happening in the industry is such a new industry and it's moving so fast that, so what I mean by that is it makes sense if somebody's got millions and millions of dollars to put some money in the bigger market caps if they don't really know about the other ones. Because again, like the big industry, the big institution, mainstream media is pushing Ethereum and Bitcoin to the masses like it's God's gift to man, when in reality, there's other cryptos like XDC and QNT that are literally 1,000 times cheaper than Bitcoin with literally 1,000 times more utility. So that's the problem right now. And again, XRP, they're literally building the Internet of Value. It's 14 times cheaper than Bitcoin with probably 5,000 times the utility. I just wanted to point that out to you guys. It's very important to understand those concepts in crypto. And I really thank you again for your time, checking out my videos. I'm going to try to publish more as much as I can. And again, thank you so much for the support and for the Twitter going and commenting on the Paul Barron Show. It's awesome. And I'm wishing you a great day, great evening, great night, wherever you are. And God bless you so much. Thank you.